Hi.
Hey, that was fast.
We have had I'm in Nashville. I'm in just the room 2 doors down from you. So
So fun.
nice.
So
Um,
fun.
for some reason, we've been doing a podcast for years. We've done hundreds of episodes at this point, and we still don't know how to record in the same room.
I
We don't
know.
know how.
It's honestly like
Embarrassing.
it's embarrassing at this point.
I know, and I at this point I can't ask.
We even have AV technical help.
It's crazy. I don't know
I
what we're
kind of
doing
feel
wrong.
like he's not paying attention to that one. Every time I ask him, I'm kind of like he's not really checked in on this question.
Oh, he's 100% checked out on the question. He's always like, "You just record," and we're like, "What?" I'm here
I'm
in
just gonna
Nashville.
I'm just gonna boost. Hold on. I'm just gonna retweet the.
Oh, me too. Okay,
Yeah,
let
we're
me
gonna get
see.
started here in a few minutes. We just wanted to go
Live a little early.
live a little early here. Yeah, I don't really know how to get so just for context for folks, my husband is an audio engineer. So he's expert in
Audio.
this realm of, and you would think it would get I see people podcast together in the same room all the time.
All the time.
I think we maybe have the wrong mics
I don't
or
know.
something. We
If
have the wrong
anybody
setup.
knows, please reach out. Let us know. We're dying to do it correctly. It's just like there's an echo. We hear I don't know, it doesn't work. Whatever. We don't have to keep talking about
Anyway,
this. All this to say,
um all this to say that we're here, both of us in Nashville. What are your thoughts on Nashville? We went out to dinner in Nashville last night.
we went to Nash Vegas last night. I come here a lot. My sister also lives here. I'm here often. Um, and it's we walked into this restaurant. There's varieties of vibes of Nashville, so I know that. And there's the East Nashville thing. There's the Green Hills. I'm briefed on sort of the different vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Bachelor Nation Nashville versus musician Nashville, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Last night we went to if this means anything to anybody, a restaurant in the Gulch, which is basically Nash Vegas, huge restaurant, big tables, something called a espresso martini tower, if that gives you any information. $150 espresso martini tower. And I walked in and when we got there, it was empty because you like to eat quite early. And it was completely empty. And I was like, I went to the bathroom and I was like, I actually don't understand the economics of this place. I truly do not understand. There's what seems to be 100 people working here. There's
Mm-hmm.
no one at the tables. I'm not sure what's going on. And I came back and I was like, how does this work? And you were just like, bachelorette parties, big group tables. By the time we left, this restaurant is packed to the nines, full tables, big groups. I don't understand what's happening in
On
the
a Tuesday
city.
night.
On a Tuesday night.
But yeah, I don't know. No recession here in Nashville yet.
None. We had a fine meal. I don't think we'll ever need to go back to that
We won't ever need to go
establishment.
back there. It's been a fairly stressful morning, so I just want to
Really
share.
stressful. Couldn't have been more stressful of a morning. We're absolutely back to back. We've been it's been stressful. But
It's
you
been
had
stressful
one very stressful moment.
and yeah, and I've had my prime this morning.
I know. I actually got home from my workout and I was like, is Dina gonna offer me a prime?
Oh my God. Do you want a prime?
I'd love a prime after this call. That's my little treat.
Great.
That's my treat.
Great. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'll make us
Give you a
lunch
prime.
and you can give me a prime.
Great. So we've been in back-to-back meetings and I've also been managing some editorial questions and crises as well.
We're
Some
journalists.
We've gotten a lot of we've been having to navigate some ethics questions this mornings, and we're navigating them. But it's just been a lot of inbound texts and lots of different people calling and then meetings also, and we've had a couple of important meetings this morning. Anyway, and all we're going through this process, and then all of a sudden my husband comes in the room. He never comes in my office. Never comes in my office.
I was like, what's going on?
I know. I was like, I hope the kids are okay. And whatever. And we're on a call. And so I go out there and he shows me an email from AT&T that's like, congratulations on buying a new SIM card. So immediately I'm like, okay, I'm being SIM swapped.
Mhm.
It's happening now. It's the
It's
Michael
happening.
Scott. It's
It's
happening.
happening.
It's
It's
happening.
happening.
And I must admit, I did not know what the first action to take was.
Mhm.
I need to know. Like, I think we all need to know, like, okay, you have some sort of sign that you're being SIM swapped. What's the first step that you take?
I know what mine is.
I don't know. Cause I was like, call AT&T right now and tell them to what? Turn off my phone. Like, you do know what it is?
I'm calling the most powerful person that I know. I shall
And
not name them,
saying,
and saying, "I'm getting SIM swapped. Help me." And then
and they'll
I
tell
know
you.
they'll connect me to the right folks.
We might as well just know now, though. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, there's
No,
call AT&T.
they'll have like the executive at AT&T. Like you need someone a direct line. You're not getting like customer support. Like I need.
Oh,
I,
I see. So you're trying to escalate it within AT&T.
I'm
Anyway, all that to
escalating
say,
it
I'm
within
not getting SIM
Coinbase
swapped.
within AT&T. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not getting
yeah.
SIM swapped. So
We
just so everyone knows,
buried
I
the
would not
lead.
be on this live stream if I was getting SIM swapped right now. It
But what
was
you did, you like came back in the room and sat down, and I was like, something's. Also, I was like in the middle of like sort of pitching, and I was like, just keep talking. And then you came and sat back down, and I was like, and then you just typed into your computer in all caps, SIM swap. And I was like, we've got to get off this call. We've got to get off this call. We're both like sitting there just kind of sweating. I'm like, oh my
I'm like
God.
trembling. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, I'm not getting SIM swapped. It was just because I bought my kid an Apple Watch last week, and then Apple sent us or AT&T sent us a notification. But if anyone knows, drop it in the comments. You're getting SIM swapped. What's the first action you take? Call AT&T?
Question mark?
Question mark. Go on to Coinbase and change your email address? Question mark.
Create a new email address. This is the
Move
problem
everything
though.
off of your ledger. Yeah.
As soon
Go
as you're
ahead.
in panic, that's the worst time to be moving things around. So
100%. Yeah. 100%.
I think I just give up. I think I just give up.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know you're still stressed,
Oh.
and I feel stressed.
I
And
know you're an absorber. You're an energy absorber, and you are
I've
absorbing my stressful
absorbed it
energy.
like into my bones, into my bones. Anyway, it's gonna be a great live
Oh,
stream, so we
really
can
excited
get
about
into
today's
it.
show. Welcome to Boys Club Live. We are really pumped about today's show. We have a lot of fun stuff that we're going to cover. As ever, Boys Club is a media company. We cover the juicy intersection of technology and culture. Sometimes the stories are a little bit more culture. Sometimes the stories are a little bit more technology. It's a beautiful mix, and that's why you come to this live stream, and that's what you can expect from us. We are supported by Polygon. We love Polygon so much. If you've touched crypto in any way, chances are you've already used Polygon. It's the chain quietly powering a bunch of the stuff that actually works, that people actually use, like Stripe's crypto payments, betting on Polymarket's prediction markets, and a bunch more. We're going to talk about prediction markets in a sec, but thank you so much to Polygon for supporting this live stream. We love you guys. Okay, quick note on the agenda today. We are just going to do all the hits. Burning Man weather report, Taylor Swift engagement, and then we have 3 guests back to back. We're going to talk with our friend Jake Nevins about the US Open and Novak Djokovic.
Good job.
Thank you. We are going to have the CEO of Layer Zero on to talk about their Stargate acquisition and what's next for them. And then the general manager of Robinhood Crypto, Johann Kerbrat, is going to talk about what they're up to. So a real, we have range. We are really going to a lot of different corners of the internet today. Anything you want to add to that, Natasha?
No, I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about. I think it's our obligation and duty to report on what's happening at Burning Man, primarily just to gloat that I've never been, I never will go. I don't want to be like superior about it, but I do feel
too late.
I do feel superior about it.
Too late. Yes, I
want to
knew
be
that was going
supportive
to be
of
your
people's
take.
self-expression. I really do. I want to be supportive of people finding themselves in the variety of ways that are available to them.
Totally.
The problem with Burning Man is that similar to other things where people find themselves, then it's all people will talk about. And I just can't.
It's CrossFit It's veganism. It's Burning
It's
Man.
marathons. It's Burning Man.
Uh-huh.
That's
Totally.
the nightmare blunt rotation.
Totally. I think if you can go to Burning Man, I think the worst. First of all, easy target. So such an easy
So
target.
easy. So
Private
easy.
jets coming into Burning Man, the traffic, now this dust storm, like a lot of fun to be had at their expense. They're a very easy target. There's a lot of money there. It's so much of its own thing. But yeah, what I'll say is the worst part of a Burning Man type person is a performative Burning Man type person.
Yes.
And I think as long as if you're going to Burning Man and you're not being performative about it, great.
Good for you. Honestly, speaks more to your character.
Totally. Like that's how cool.
Really cool move. Extremely cool move.
But if you're being performative about it,
get out of here. Thumbs down, 2 thumbs down.
Like could not be more thumbs down. So anyway, there's a huge dust storm the day of Burning Man, and the videos are insane. It looks like such a bad time. That's also the other part of it. Is that I'm like, these people are in these RVs. There was a dust storm, and then there was a flood, and it's like you're in an RV to begin with, and you're dealing with inclement weather.
Right. I just like
in your goggles and your like fluffy boots and your bikini top. It's like crazy.
It just feels like maybe God doesn't want you there, you know? Like it's like maybe he's saying don't do this, you know? Don't go do a bunch of drugs and have an orgy in the middle of whatever this is, a desert.
Yeah.
But maybe it's great. So Burning Man Orgy Dome hit hard.
The Orgy Dome collapsed. And the one thing I'll say about the Orgy Dome, it's been going since 2003, I think.
Legacy product.
It is a legacy product at Burning Man. And yes, it has been going since 2003 every year. Sex positive consensual space for couples and more Sims to play during their stay at Black Rock City. That's just their tagline. What I will say about the Orgy Dome, which I learned, is that it's air conditioned.
Oh, okay. They're really trying to they're really trying to get you in there. They're like,
but like,
you know,
they're bringing some infrastructure in, yeah, to keep it.
You know how I feel about it. AC. This could maybe convince me to go to the Orgy Dome.
Okay,
I'm actually not here for the sex at all. I'm just here for the air conditioning.
Next story here, and then we're gonna bring Jake up. Big news yesterday. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were engaged. If you're living on a rock, and we are breaking the news to you, wow, what an honor and a treat. Doubt that very much for the people that tune into this podcast. But just to say, the poly market only $400,000 in volume, which honestly is, I was expecting it to be higher.
You know how I feel about prediction markets. We've written a whole newsletter about the error of their ways around culture markets. So
yes, as evidenced by right here. But this is people. There's someone who came in yesterday and who bought this right here.
Good for you.
Who
Good for
made
them.
A lot of money. Yeah, happy for them. And then the second thing
it's Travis Kelce.
No, literally. The second thing I'll say here is that there's been a lot of discourse like, oh, this is going to boost fertility rates and baby boom coming. And like, absolutely not. It's going to do that. No way. No chance it's going to do that. And that's a bad take. And you guys need to log off.
You guys need to go to Burning Man.
Like literally touch grass.
That's just Orgy Dome.
Seriously. It's a crazy take. It's a crazy take. Please.
I was just going to say, you know the age-old saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
We're gonna bring our first guest up on stage here. Okay. I'll do a little intro here for Jake as he's coming up on the stage. Jake,
I don't know if Jake's here yet. He's there he is.
Sorry.
Hey Jake, how are you?
I am good. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so just a quick intro. Jake Nevins is a writer and editor at Interview Magazine. You write about literature, sports, and pop culture. You've written for New York Times, New York Magazine, New York Review of Books. We're so excited to have you and chat about tennis.
I am too. I'm excited to be here, and I like hearing the Burning Man weather report. There's not an orgy dome at the U.S. Open, but I feel like that could be implemented.
There's always time. There's always time.
Revenue stream. I see revenue stream in that.
They're constantly pouring money into the event, so you never know what happens next.
Not to put you on the spot, but have you ever been to Burning Man?
I have not. I have to say I have such a phobia of music festivals. The entire experience is like petrifying to me. I don't like being like I'll go to concerts, but music festivals just I don't know. The crowd is too much for me, and also just like navigating to different stages. I'm just like, tell me where I need to be, and I'm there. But like, I don't need to go on a whole adventure.
I respect that. I really, really respect that.
What about you?
No, never. Not once. Not for me. I'm not someone who camps. I'm not like out here trying to not take a shower for several days. Like I'm quite against that type of lifestyle. I love the outdoors, but I want to like go on a beautiful hike, come back home,
On her
have a nice
terms.
rest.
On your
my
terms.
Yes. And
Absolutely.
as evidenced by this storm, it's impossible to have the outdoors on your terms in that type of environment. So
yeah,
that's not going to be for me, but happy for those who wish to participate. Okay, I'm good for them. Really excited to talk to you about the U.S. Open, and you just wrote a piece with Novak, an interview with him. He's gearing up for his 25th Grand Slam at the U.S. Open happening now. And your piece was definitely about him and sort of him being christened as the GOAT and how he feels about that. It was also about his collaboration with Lacoste and sort of an iconic change they made to their crocodile. I want to give you some space to talk about the piece and get your thoughts, but for listeners who haven't read it, maybe give us a one-on-one on what you guys talked about.
Yeah. So, Novak Djokovic is now 38, nearly 39 years old, and has been a mainstay at the top of tennis for about 20 years. Obviously, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz are the big dogs right now, but Djokovic is still playing at a high level. And the interesting thing about Djokovic is, he holds the record for the most Grand Slams by any man, but he kind of started his career as the sort of like edgy and not completely likable third wheel to the era of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. And I always got the sense that he was like craving the kind of adoration and affection and fandom that the two of them had on a global scale. And, it's just interesting because he's sort of this Serbian athlete raised in like the crucible of war, and it just always appeared like he was trying a little bit too hard to get fans on board, and so he kind of gained a reputation as the bad guy in that trio, both because he kind of disrupted their rivalry, came on a few years later, and also because of various antics. People might be aware that he was deported from Australia during the 2021 Australian Open for refusing to get the vaccination. He's a bit of an odd guy, kind of, has, you could call him a health guru, although I'm not sure guru is exactly the right word. But he has his idiosyncrasies. But, I think a lot of people, I think the tune has changed a bit on Novak, where people, see him way less now as an interloper and more as like a certified legend of the game. So it's just interesting to get a chance to talk to him as he kind of is making one last push to get another slam, which would make him, the sole holder of the most man or woman of all time. And at the same time, it's like reckoning with mortality and father time and his body's ability to, put itself through the toil necessary to win a slam. He basically only plays the slams now. People might be aware that there's lots of other tennis tournaments over the course of the year. He's kind of skipping most of those just so he can peak at the right time. Anyway, yeah, Lacoste kind of changed their crocodile, turned it into a goat. So I caught up with him at the, flagship store last week. And he's, just like a really thoughtful interview subject. Was kind of in like a contemplative mood. A lot of the players come to the US Open and they're just like bogged down in all these media responsibilities. So sometimes you feel like you're kind of going to get someone on autopilot. But I found him to be really thoughtful and engaging. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. I grew up in like a big tennis family, and just like they love watching it and playing it. But they've always hated him. It's always just been like he's the bad boy. He has bad manners. Like and that it's funny because growing up, that felt true when I would watch him. And as he's gotten older, I feel like that's not accurate, but I don't know that he's been able to like remove that stain in comparison to the other two who are just like so polite, so kind, have such a like presence of being like serious competitors, but also just like really good guys. And
Right.
I feel like he got branded early on and like has had a very hard time shaking that
Yeah.
as like a, I don't know, being more than that. And when you look at what he's done, it's incredible. And also the player that he is today, and like he's serious and he's intense and yeah, kind of funny in certain ways, but like also a very good sport. And it's funny how even over time that takes a long time to like shake a different perspective of how the world sees you.
Yeah, 100%. And it's also funny to see like how the way that affects him. Like he so clearly wants to be beloved in that way. And the U.S. Open has been an interesting site where that emerges because there are just times when like, the U.S. Open crowd is pretty fickle. For the most part, they'll root for the Americans. But like, if a player is up, they're just going to start rooting for the player who's down. They just want more and more tennis. And Novak is just like constantly gesturing to the crowd. He's like, he wants them to rally behind him.
He's
and
like, love me.
Yeah, 100%. He's just complete pick me.
Yeah.
I think finally, after all these years, he's getting a little bit of that. But it's funny. He was trying to be kind of humble about, I imagine it's kind of weird. Like, you have all this respect for like your forebears in the game, which I believe he does. And then this company, your clothing sponsor is like, we're calling you the GOAT and you need to put on this polo with the GOAT logo. But he was a good sport about it and, hit all his marks in terms of, paying respect to all the other great tennis players of his time. But I could sense that he was like, yeah, I'm the fucking GOAT.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about the U.S. Open a little bit? I know I'm skipping ahead here in our questions, but I'm seeing this piece here, Natasha, that you put into our notes about the honey deuce. A $23, what is it?
It's a vodka based, it's a perfect beverage, just for the record. So everybody knows it's a Grey Goose cocktail with melon. And it's like has a life of its own at the US Open. Like it's just an iconic beverage. And so it was $15 a decade ago. And today it's 20.
Really?
Yes. And in my mind, it's still $15, but it's not. It's $23 a glass, and you get like a glass with it. And I don't know. It's like so
commemorative
silly.
cup.
Commemorative cup. Exactly.
Can I just before we get into how much does a ticket to the U.S. Open? Like, I want to just get a sense of the money. What's a ticket cost? Not to go to a finals, just like to go to an early game.
Well, it's exponentially changed over the last few years. So tennis has had like a major boom, and this is something I was excited to get your take on, Jake. But it used to be like, there it is. There she is in all her glory.
It's a really lovely looking cocktail, I gotta say.
It's perfect. It's really perfect. So like what has happened is because of the popularity, you have the resale value issue where you're now on SeatGeek or Ticketmaster or whatever. Like you're not the original ticket, I think, would be like for an early stage, maybe like $75. But you have the issue of like the Taylor Swift tickets where it's impossible to get a ticket at that price because they sell out really quickly. And so I was looking to go the other night, and for like 2 tickets for like a random ass early stage, it was like $350 or something. Like it's gotten really expensive. And then like if you're in the lower seats at the lower
how much do you want to spend? Yeah,
as long as a piece of string. Like it's crazy. Like I saw something going for like literally $45,000 for the finals, and like they're probably not going to get that on resale, but like it's crazy. So there's been an exponential growth in it. But curious what like Jake, your perspective on why that has happened. Why has tennis has blown up so much in the U.S. and affected sort of the business of it? I have some theories, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think too. I mean, it is interesting, and I'll tell you something that I've noticed. I'm a regular. I don't know. You guys are in New York, right?
I am, yeah.
In Nashville.
Cool. So there's 6 tennis courts in Fort Greene Park, and I'm a regular there. And it's a real rat race to sign up for a court. Basically, like the Parks and Rec attendant comes out with the sign-up sheet every morning at like 6:30. But if you want, a court at 6 p.m. after work, like you have to be queued up at 5:30 in the morning. And people do this, myself included. And it used to be that you could get there like at 6:30 when the sheet's coming out and like get the court of your choice. Now it's like there's like 70 people there by 6 a.m. Like all lined up.
Oh my gosh.
Several of them on benches, and then once the benches end, everyone else just has to stand and wait patiently for this lovely lady to come out with the sign-up sheet. All of which is to say, that's like my, boots on the ground dispatch from the tennis room. I can't necessarily part of me wonders if this is some kind of response to the pickleball boom. I'm an active pickleball hater just because I hate the way that they're
what it's done.
Like bulldozing public basketball courts and whatever to build pickleball courts, and it's so loud and it's not a sport. You can quote me on that. In any case, and so I wonder if there's been like a Newton's Law thing, like an opposite reaction where people are like, let's embrace the sport from which pickleball came. I don't know. Your film people on Twitter are going to attribute this to challengers. I kind of doubt that. In any case, I just think that, I don't know, you had like the Serena and Venus and Roger and Rafa era, and maybe there's some sense of nostalgia now that they're gone. And I don't know, tennis, it's like, it's chic and athletic and I don't know, kind of maybe the perfect sport for the young cosmopolitan and millennial if they are lucky enough to get a court.
They're willing to be out there at 5:30 a.m.
One last question here before we
one thing I just want to say about honeydews. I just have to tell this price or how much they sold. Last year they sold 556,000 honeydews and generated $12.8 million. Wow. That's
incredible.
insane.
And also, I'm sure Grey Goose is cutting some sort of check to be on the glass as well. So
I feel as though I was responsible for at least $1 million worth of those.
They definitely got like a couple hundred from me. Yeah. I was getting one the other night. My first day at the Open, and they had it on tap. At least one part of the drink on tap, which I hadn't seen before because usually they're like making it themselves. And the guy was just like, when I asked for one, he just like kind of sighed and he was like, "Yep, another one." He cited some statistic to me about like the number that are being made per minute. But in any case, it's a phenomenon.
Wow. Okay, last question. Dina, pull up the photos.
This is a surprise for you. But curious what you have, curious your thoughts on the new buzz cut here from Carlos Alcaraz. Hold on, let me get it.
What do you think?
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so my hot take is that it's a little too short.
Whoa, okay.
That's not, I think most people would agree. Here's the other thing though. So there's like a bit of a bit on tennis Twitter because Carlos Alcaraz has been known to get really, really bad haircuts, and he goes to this guy that tennis Twitter has called Victor Barber, and every time he gets another one of these awful haircuts, Victor Barber like Instagram stories, and he's like, "My boy came through the shop." And this is not the work of Victor Barber. This is the work of Carlos Alcaraz's brother, as he said in his press conference the other night. So I think the idea might be let's go super short. And then when he's like inevitably in the finals next Sunday, it'll.
Oh, nice,
wow.
Strategic.
That's really strategic. Also, there's so much more we could talk about, like the rise of tennis stars all of a sudden getting super jacked. Like that's a crazy thing. But we'll have to have you back on maybe after we see who wins the U.S. Open.
Sure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for having me. It's so fun. Bye.
Bye, Jake. See you later. So fun.
Okay, let's bring our next.
I think the haircut looks great.
I do too. I think the haircuts look really good too. Okay, next guest here. Oh, Bryan. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. We're doing a big context switch here.
Massive. Are you a tennis? Do you watch play?
My wife played a ton when she was younger, so we watched a ton. I've been in the Australian Open, which is just like an amazing month.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's great.
Okay, so Bryan, quick CEO of Layer Zero. Do you want to just do a quick intro of yourself? And also, if you could answer the question, what is layer zero? I think that would be helpful context for folks who are listening too.
Sure. Intro of myself is in right now or is in like history?
Whatever. Just
all right. I'll give the very quick version.
Okay.
Grew up in the States, tiny town, 900 people, was just like nerd with a computer. Dropped out of college. I was a computer science student to play poker professionally. Played for 8 years. The highest stakes you could possibly play in the world. Was one of the best heads up no limit players in the world. Did like 80 countries, so just traveled the world during that time. And then in 2011, online poker got banned in the US. So I was in the US at the time. So you wake up, everything's blocked, everything's shut down. And so all of us in poker, very fortunate turn of events in life, found Bitcoin in 2011, which is very early to find Bitcoin.
The poker to Bitcoin pipeline.
Yeah, definitely. All of us, it was just jammed down our throats because that was first product market fit, the only way to move money around. After that, started and sold 3 different companies, sold machine learning models to a bunch of pro baseball teams, did academic research with Noam Brown, who's the creator at OpenAI of the 01 and 03 models, got cited by DeepMind, which was really cool as a college dropout. Put 100% of my net worth into Bitcoin in 2016 and started Layer Zero in 2020. So I think that's all the relevant stuff that gets us here.
Bullish.
And then what is Layer Zero? Layer Zero really is just, you have all these chains now. They all just live on their own. There is no way for them to talk to each other. So primarily what that looks like these days is assets moving. And so if you look at on top of Layer Zero today, there's hundreds of billions of dollars of assets that are built on top of us. Hundreds of billions of dollars are moving across the rails. And these are things like the largest stable coin in the world, the largest sort of wrapped Bitcoin synthetic in the world, the largest yield bearing, so Athena there, things like the first state issued stable coin, so Wyoming, PayPal's PYUSD, like all of stables, as you think about money moving, about 86% of all money that moves across chains in crypto moves over Layer Zero today.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow. It's Layer Zero is one of those things that like you see or I see everywhere, but have never like fully understood what your role is in the stack or in the ecosystem. So I think it's useful for that. And also like there's some messaging on your site that's about omni-chain or interoperability. That's kind of the place that you guys are sitting. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly right. So we built it as back then there was just really, everybody was just wrapped assets only, and it was really just one way. So if you went Ethereum to BNB chain, and then you wanted to go to Avalanche, you have to like go back out to Ethereum and then go, like nothing was connected. It wasn't a mesh, right? So the omni chain for us was this, when you have a bunch of chains, very annoying to have to keep going back in these weird circuitous routes. And so omni-chain was just everything's a full mesh, everything connected. And interoperability just means even though it's mostly money right now, really it can be anything. It's like a packet on the internet. You can move any byte. So it's used for applications themselves, gaming, NFTs, really anything. Money just happens to be the biggest product market fit.
Okay. So you guys have had a big week. There was a big event that took over the headlines this past weekend. I think the timeline is this weekend. You brought Stargate back to Layer Zero, won the bid or passed the proposal to bring Stargate back to Layer Zero. Tell us a little bit about what went down.
Yeah, so Stargate, just for background, we built Layer Zero in 2020, launched it March of 2021. As we were building it, we realized, hey, if we just build this thing that is, like a generic packet and tell everybody like it's here, nobody's going to be able to build anything. They're all going to have to reinvent a bunch of this stuff. And the most obvious thing is moving money, right? If you're a DEX, if it's SushiSwap and Uniswap are the two big competing DEXs at the time, you want to like bridge and swap. You want to be able to like, I have an asset here and I want an asset there, but you need some settlement rails there. And we realized that if we didn't do it, Uniswap and SushiSwap will each build their own and not use the others. Aave and Compound competing at the time will each build their own and not use each other's, and we'll create ultra fragmentation. So we said, all right, we have to build this liquidity abstraction layer on top, and that will make it so much easier to build on Layer Zero, really just add a bunch of utility. And so we built both of them. We launched both of them. our original thesis was, listen, the base layer, layer 0, has to be credibly neutral, has to be agnostic. It can't really care about this single application. So Stargate got spun out and basically rolled into a DAO model. So run by its own team, done everything. We wrote all of the code, we wrote all of the contracts, all of the ongoing innovation of new features was all done by layer 0 side, but running and operationally was done by the separate team of the Stargate Foundation. A couple of years go by. Stargate has become the largest bridge in the world. So it's done about $80 billion across it. But it has really struggled in a ton of ways. Like we as layer 0 have flourished in terms of adoption, everything growing, and we have all of this new stuff that's coming out. And this might be swaps, and this might be all of these things around stables that we're doing and around just the movement of money that aren't pure bridging. And we realized we were starting to gift a lot of these to Stargate because we want Stargate to grow. We want it to start to do these things, but it's not necessarily in like our best interest to continue to gift them. So we can either do things that are like mildly competitive, like if we do cross-chain swaps and we run it as layer 0, everyone goes to Stargate for bridging and layer 0 for swaps. Like, okay, that's getting a bit weird. And you're going to have like more and more fractured interests in terms of where things lie and where development cycles go. And we want to just like, we're very, very focused on just winning and being intense. I think we're kind of a bit of an outlier in that. We're about 140 people now. It's already pretty big as in terms of like most crypto companies, but we're 100% in person. So we have like 110 people in Vancouver, 25 people in New York. We're like really just this amazing team. And so we want to be able to run fast. We want to be able to execute at a super fast speed. We realized we're doing things that are divergent. And so there was a point that came. We looked at about 3 months ago, said we couldn't do it. Point came, we said, okay, economically, we think it can make sense here. We're going to put up a proposal to the DAO. There's been a bunch of DAO shenanigans in the past, like teams who vote on their own proposals to give themselves money, teams who secretly do, there's like all this weird backdoor stuff. And so we just try to be super transparent in terms of like, we put up the proposal in the forums. We said directly in it, nobody from labs, foundation, from anywhere is going to vote on this proposal. This will be 100% up to the DAO. It was 100% up to the people in the DAO who are already there voting. So we said, like, we're going to leave it up to you guys. Here's why we think it's right. If this doesn't happen, we're probably going to end up competing in some ways, which like isn't great for anybody. And we like want to bring you guys along for the ride. Like we want to be able to just have aligned interests and do this. So we put up the proposal. The other thing is, I think there's usually a lot of backroom dealing, even in, just going around and trying to get the biggest stakeholder and say, please vote for us. Like, here's this incentive, here's that. And so I talked to every stakeholder, reached out. I didn't proactively reach out to a single stakeholder. I answered any questions. I told them, you guys should just like vote in what's in your best economic interest. I'm not like pushing you to vote in either way. So we try to just make it like a super legitimate process from that side. It ended up becoming this crazy thing. Like in the beginning, I thought it was pretty straightforward. Naturally, they were like, hey, we want more money. A lot of this VESTG stakers were. And so we came back with a second slight modification that said, hey, you guys are getting revenue now from the protocol. We're going to continue to give you revenue for the next 6 months. We think we have the ability to grow this thing to kind of doing more in revenue than it was doing. So that 6 months period will probably be great for you. But then it got really contentious. Other people put in bids. Other people were saying, hey, stop the process and we'll put in bids. So all of this was happening, which got really noisy. Tons of coverage, tons of media outlets on all of this. But the thing is, all of these were like, we might put in an offer. Here is a conditional offer if we can figure out anything. It was like all of these weird what ifs. And we had been very clear from the beginning. I said right from the beginning, I said, we're going to make this offer one time. You guys decide what you want to do. If it doesn't go through, that's fine. I'll be unhappy, but I'll live with it. And we'll just like go on our way and do our thing. And so everybody kind of knew like this offer is going to go through. We have to either need to decide to accept this one or wait and maybe get a different offer later. And so even despite all the noise, I think the news presented this as like a very highly contentious, hotly contested thing. But if you look at the vote, it was the most voted on thing in Stargate history. About 15,000 plus individual addresses came out and voted, and 95% of the addresses themselves voted in the positive. So like 95% of the absolute number of people, and also 95% of the stake weight itself. So, because some people could have a lot more and some people could have a lot less. So it was both in pure numbers and in stake weight, 95%. It passed on Saturday. We were very happy. The Stargate team, I think, is excited now. We're going to build this thing together. They actually all have flown in, so a bunch of them are here now, and we're just like, okay, like how do we now take this thing and just build something amazing? How do we turn it into this one piece of the stack and just fully verticalize the whole stack? Now for us, we get this amazing project within the ecosystem now, which is direct touch point to the consumer. We can build all of the stuff that we're building and launch it under a single point, and all of that drives now not in multiple directions. It just drives to one thing. 100%. We said we are not going to take the revenue. All of the revenue goes directly to buying back Zero. All of the revenue stays within the Layer Zero ecosystem, and so it is just a singular touch point for the ecosystem, and we're very excited and optimistic about what we're able to do with that. So I think we're going to be able to run very, very quickly. I think we're going to ship a lot of stuff that will surprise people kind of in the near future. So we're super excited.
Great. I so definitely have been following this story along the timeline, and congratulations. One thing that I've seen as criticism, and that people have asked some questions about, is the speed in which the vote went through, how quickly the proposal came together, all of that sort of stuff. And so could you speak to that criticism as to why things move so quickly, and maybe why you think people are upset about that?
Yeah, it's actually funny that that's the interpretation, because that was like it's been 3 years now, very well-established process, which is 7 days in the forum and only 3 days to vote. And we actually optionally went out of our way. We said, this is a huge vote for the DAO. Absolutely should have time for people to synthesize the information and make the best decision. And so we, on our end, DAO rules would just say 7 days in forum, 3 days for vote. Before we said we're going to make it a full 7 days for vote. So we actually intentionally, willingly extended the time frame to be almost twice as long as was originally, well, more than twice as long on the snapshot period as was recommended or mandated by DAO rules. So we had the full 7 days in the forum and a full 7 days of voting rather than the 7 or 3. So I think I know that has been being said on Twitter, but I think anybody who is saying that actually is pretty disconnected from reality. And you can see every other vote that's ever happened. You can look at the forums that have been very, very well established on how the DAO rules work. And you can look at the conversations where we said, hey, actually a couple of the large, that was another in adjusting the VESDG, a couple of the large stakeholders said, hey, I think you should make this longer. I don't think 3 days is enough. And we said, I think you're absolutely right. So no, I actually completely disagree with that and think it was longer than was needed process. And it was something we did because we think it's a really big decision for the DAO.
Yeah, totally. I also think on the other side of that, it's it is incredible to witness the speed and efficiency at which an on-chain acquisition can happen. Setting aside all the DAO drama and all of that, if we're in an industry to cut out middlemen, being able to execute an acquisition in that way, I don't know, fast.
This is one of the parts I thought was quite. I think maybe he was good intention, but there was an M&A advisor who came into the forum and was tweeting. It was hey, you guys should use an M&A advisor. I happen to be, if you need any help.
Right.
I know who you can call.
Funny, but it's okay, great. But no, I think it really, when I was on a show yesterday and it was the same kind of thing. It's just oh, wow, the bankers and everybody else involved, guess what? None of them are needed, right? The structure is really meant to be hyper efficient. And that's the beauty of the beauty of crypto.
We love it. Bryan, thank you so much for your time and coming on what I know is a very busy week for you guys over there. So appreciate you very much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Take care. All right. Man,
Okay.
I'm still reeling from that tennis to crypto switcheroo. Okay, let's bring our next guest up here.
Oh, there we go. Hi.
Here we are. Hi, how are you?
Doing? Johann, how you doing? Welcome.
Good. How have you been?
We're so good. You have a beautiful background for people who are just listening. It looks like you're in a gorgeous wooded area there. So
Yes, this is our headquarters in Menlo Park, and I have the chance to have this room with like a mini forest behind me. So I like
Nice.
to take calls from there.
Nice. So, Robinhood general manager of crypto, Johann Kerbrat. Do you want to give us just a little context on you, a little introduction, so that folks have context?
Yeah, happy to. So like you said, I'm the GM for crypto at Robinhood. I've been at Robinhood for a bit more than 4 years. Initially joined as the CTO for the crypto group, and then moved to that position. And really, the goal for us is to make crypto accessible and actually usable, not just reserve it for engineers that are super technical, which I think was the issue with crypto for a long time. And before Robinhood, I was at a bunch of startups, including Airbnb, and I had my own startup back in the days in France.
Nice. Great. I have also heard that you have been like a degen for a while and in the trenches with folks. So it's always nice to see someone who's really ingrained in crypto and the industry at such an established company like Robinhood and leading the charge. So it's great to see. And you guys have had a big summer at Robinhood in relationship to crypto. Big event at ETHCC where you announced tokenized stocks and ETFs for EU customers, staking, and plans for a Robinhood L2. Just to sort of vibe check, what's the feeling at Robinhood? How are people? What's the reception been? What's the energy like in the house?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reception that we've seen in the public has been really amazing, and I think for a few things, like you mentioned, Robinhood is a pretty big established company in the brokerage space, and so people kind of had the tendency to just think about crypto as a secondary thing that we were doing on the side. And so I think this event really showed that we care about crypto, that we think blockchain technology is going to be the platform of tomorrow for any financial system. And so I think the energy has been super high from that event. But at this point for us, the main focus is to make sure that we ship what we announce, or we continue to iterate on what we announce, keep the momentum going, not slowing down, like these kind of things. But at the end of the day, we're super happy about the announcement. Some of the products are already live, like staking in the US, and we've seen a lot of demand on it. And so, we're really excited about the fact that the team have been working so hard, and thanks to them, we've been able to ship all these products.
You lived, did I get it right that you lived in Cannes?
That's right, yeah.
Just speaking of ECC, just bringing it full circle, is that where and when you got into crypto?
Yeah, I mean, just next to it, Nice, which is a smaller town, bigger town than Cannes. And the ECC was a bit of a coincidence. Usually it's in Paris. I think one time they did it in Brussels. But the fact that it was in Cannes this year was pretty funny for me. I could see where I went into the high school, but also
wow.
this conference.
Okay, so you guys are Robinhood's all in on crypto. The ETH and Sol staking, tokenized stocks, perpetuals, future trading. Tell us more about this suite and like what you feel like it unlocks for your customers or your users. Like what's the vision for what it gets your customers?
Yeah, I mean, in the EU, really the goal for us was to keep working towards building this true financial super app where you have one platform where people can access any asset, not just the classic stock or crypto, but also like everything that we want to expand to. And so one of the giveaway that we gave during the announcement was also a private stock giveaway. And so it shows you that we want to break a bit all of the walls that exist currently around financial systems and are kind of protecting the super rich, but letting a lot of people on the side that are not able to contribute to that economy. And so we think that with this super app, we can get there. And really, at the end of the day, we also think that the technology is better. It's going to be faster, 24/7, transparent. And all of these things are really going to improve the shape of the economy and again, include more people. But we also launch more complicated products, like, for example, perpetuals in the EU. And we think that, there's a lot of demands for this type of products now. It's a bit more reserved to the advanced trader type of customer, but we think it's super exciting for them to be able to use it in a regulated place using a regulated exchange as well.
Mm-hmm. And the products that are in the EU right now, is the vision that they will eventually come to the US over time? Is that how you guys are thinking about it right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot of things that we've been building, and we've not been super shy about the fact that we cannot build them in the US. For example, staking, we launched it more than a year ago in Europe, and so we had to wait before being able to launch it in the US, and it's not live yet in all the states. So that's a kind of problem that we see with the current regulation and the current regulatory space for the US. But things have been changing. There was a Genius Act recently. There's this market structure bill clarity coming up, and so we think we'll be able to keep adding new products on the crypto side in the US. And for us, also, like, one of our mission is to expand internationally. So there is a work in the US and the EU, but we also want to keep expanding, and we think crypto is a great way for us to move quickly there.
Yeah. Tell us about your sort of on-chain strategy. So we believe that a more increasingly on-chain economy is a more transparent economy, and then hopefully a more fair economy. What parts of the Robinhood stack are you guys hoping to bring on-chain, and what's sort of the vision for, or the sort of value system around that?
Yeah, right now we started with the stock tokens. So in the future, we'll be able to trade any kind of these stock tokens anywhere, basically, and 24/7, which I think is really exciting. But basically, any financial instrument, we want to make sure that will be available on chain. You can also start imagining a world where you can also own a share of your favorite sports team, your real estates, or any other thing. We're starting to see a lot of that popping up here and there, like real estate development projects that are raising money through that. And we think it's pretty interesting as a use case, because until now you had to be an accredited investor to invest in a private company or to invest in a private real estate projects where you only get a fraction of the project. And we think that we can actually get a lot of that through tokenization, and the fact that within the technology you already have fractionalization system in place, and so it's easier to build. And on top of that, basically, like, the goal for us is to become a global marketplace, a global liquid marketplace where people can buy crypto, stocks, but any other asset that they are looking for.
Nice. That's so exciting. What do you feel like? It's an incredible vision, and something that I think even if you're not in crypto, you can see the benefits of. But what do you think some of the biggest hurdles are to this vision coming into reality?
I think regulation just need to change, but there is also a culture shift that needs to slowly happen. And I think for this culture shift to happen, you also need the technology to improve. If you think about crypto in the past 10 years, like you mentioned, we've been in the trenches for a while. And I think we kind of did that to ourselves. Like, you wanted to onboard somebody, you had to ask them to create a wallet, to write down a ton of words, and then to do a 20 transaction authorization on your wallet before you could do anything on chain. And because of that, like, a lot of people were like, okay, this is not for me. Or a lot of people actually lost money because they made a mistake or something like that. And so what we've been focusing on is really trying to make the UI and UX as simple as when you're using your phone and you're sending an SMS to somebody. Like, you don't really know what's going on in the background. You just want the message to go through, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. So if you look at what we launched for stock token in the EU, the UI and UX really look like the same as the US. We just added a token pill to tell you, like, hey, this is actually using crypto technology behind it. And we think that's how you will actually get to this place where you can have this entire economy being on chain in the future.
Okay, stablecoins so hot right now. What's Robinhood's stablecoin play? And are you guys thinking about like yield products, or like where's your head at with that?
Yeah, I mean, we already have a yield product on Robinhood. So if you're a gold customer, you already get 4% plus right now on cash on the platform. And so for us, the stablecoin product has been mostly used for people that are trying to go load their wallet or transfer money to a different platform. But that was before. Since then, we joined the Global Dollar Network, which is a consortium of big company and crypto exchanges, and we launched the USDG stablecoin. So that's something that we believe is a bit different from what exists already on USDC and other stable, where all the revenue is going to the main issuer. And in our case, the revenue is distributed based on the usage of the stable and how people interact with it and all these kind of things. And so we think that it's going to be a bit more inclusive for all these startups, all these dApps on Web3 that are using stable coins. They will also be able to get a share of the revenue. And so we think that will increase the usage as well.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, so as a U.S. Citizen, someone in New York, what should I expect to see from Robinhood next? Like, what does the roadmap look like for a user like myself? I also have to say, so I'm a big Robinhood user now. I have been for the past probably 2 years, but there was a time where I wasn't using Robinhood. I wasn't like doing it as much, and for a few years, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some. ETH was down bad. And I was like, I'm gonna use Robinhood. I'm gonna buy some ETH, and I opened up my wallet, and I had just a few grand of crypto that had been sitting in there.
Congratulations!
And I was like, holy shit! I was like,
Yeah.
I was so stoked. And then I started using Robinhood all the time, and I think honestly, like something happened to my brain where I was like, I opened this app and I have money. Like it was just like.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so I have a really a lot of affinity for what you're working on. But yeah, what's next? What should I expect as a user?
Yeah, I mean, just on that, it's always funny. I also did the same thing. When I was younger, I opened a ton of accounts, and back in the days, I will send like bitcoins or a fraction of bitcoins here and there because it was worth nothing. And back in, I think it was in 2017, I was like, okay, maybe I need to go back to check all my accounts and make sure that I try to send back everything. And I still lost some money on Mongol, so
it's like turning over the like the digital couch cushions. Like
yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
I'm like, oh, okay, let's open up these wallets I haven't looked at in a while.
But yeah, I mean, we have a ton of things cooking in the US. We are doing so much. One thing that I'm super excited about is Cortex, which is kind of our own little AI powered digest for tokens. And basically, like gold customer will be able to read this digest and read the news. And the reason why I'm so excited about it is crypto is so volatile. Like, you wake up in the morning, it's ETH is like plus 5%, and you're like, what happened? And until now, you had to read the news, you had to read Twitter and all these things. And so now, just directly on the page of Ethereum on Robinhood, you will be able to see this digest. And I think it's really just a way for you to stay updated without having to do like so much work constantly. And yeah, other than that, we are doing a lot of work also on our more advanced products. So we're going to launch mobile advanced charts that are really cool, and you will be able to do tech analysis directly from the charts. And we also have our product Robinhood Legend, which is kind of this new desktop interface where we're adding a lot more to it. So I think there's a lot to come, and we're excited to keep working there.
Nice,
awesome. Well, Johann, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming on the show and sharing with us what you guys are up to. Thank you so much.
Anytime. See you soon.
All right.
bye.
Take
See you
care.
later. What a nice guy.
Nice guy. Really nice guy.
They're doing such cool stuff, and it's genuinely so exciting that like Robinhood, it like a very established, like I trust it so much, is doing such cool innovative things with crypto. It's like genuinely very, very exciting.
Totally.
So you'd love to see it.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, just a few minutes left here in our show. I wanted to talk just through some quick hits.
Let's do
bring
it.
Kate. Let's bring Kate up. Should actually through some quick hits here. Where's our girl?
There she is.
Hey,
Hi.
Kate. You're on mute.
I'm locked in on other people, not myself. So
Great to see you.
thank you so much.
You got us like front and center in our most stressful moments this morning. So really, you've dealt with it all.
Hey, if I can bring a little joy to some chaos, that's
Always.
what I'm for.
Always. I feel like Kate, you I you see me. I feel seen. But you see me in some of my most stressful moments and I'm always like, I'm so sorry, I'm so stressed. And you're like, it's totally fine. Like you were totally fine. And I'm like, man, I love that about Kate. She can just really take it, roll with it.
Totally take it.
Yeah.
Can totally
High
roll with
tolerance, very high tolerance.
High tolerance. It's huge. Okay, talk to us about. I actually don't know what these quick hits are. I'm excited.
We got like one.
We have one
great,
quick hit.
great.
Yeah,
One quick hit.
One quick hit.
One quick hit, and it's about the viral Tallow restaurant in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So
Did you see any of these tweets, Natasha?
I saw a Tallow conversation on the timeline, but I got to tell you, I didn't dig in. I kind of just swiped.
I have a feeling we'll be adding this subject to our internal DBH.
Okay.
Skincare, all the things, So it starts with a 28-year-old man, Abe, and he opened a Tallow fried chicken joint in Southwest Philly.
Okay.
He did this 7 months ago inside a ShopRite grocery store.
Oh my God.
This is what Dina found interesting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're Buc-ee's fans. But he was finding little success, so he took it to Twitter to air out his grievances, struggles, part call for support, part candid reflection.
Okay.
The post said, for the last 7 months, I've been doing all that I can. And basically he was saying we are open 7 to 8 hours a day and I'm making $50 to $125. That's it. This post garnered 14 million views. And it had thousands of comments, people offering donations, advice on how to improve the shop.
Okay.
But then that was quickly short-lived and replaced with hate and people accusing him because he uses tallow and organic cane sugar of being a Maha influencer. And then because he was taking donations in crypto as well, they were calling him a Bitcoin scammer.
Oh.
And then they were going after ShopRite, and he was really upset that they went after not only his establishment but ShopRite. So then he took that tweet down and replaced it with I'm so sorry, I'll pay back all the money. I'm not a scammer, but if you want your money, DM me. I'll pay back your Bitcoin too.
Okay. I feel as though this man has every right to accept the donations that people are sending to him. What is that?
Okay, here's what the tweet that I saw go viral. The tweet that I saw go viral was man's upset because his restaurant that closes at 7 p.m. that's located inside of a ShopRite that and there was one other thing isn't successful.
Also near a Raising Cane's and other shop. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So it's I'm not sure how we landed here. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Okay.
And then I found out he's I feel like it's not necessarily an ego thing, but his wife and father own a restaurant in his hometown and they're keep going.
Okay.
And so he's probably I want to do my own shop.
He's got something to prove.
This tallow thing is very important to him because he says he lost 70 pounds when he made the switch from oil to tallow. So he's all about
tallow is beef.
Beef tallow.
Beef tallow.
I also think that this is part of why it went viral. Is
right?
because of the tallow.
It's a clean version to fry food, and also you can use it for skincare.
Is it part of the seed oil free movement?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. It's adjacent.
Right. But now,
squarely in not adjacent. Fully.
It's an alternative to seed oils.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beef tallow.
Yes.
Okay.
$30,000 in debt, but he's gonna.
Oh no!
So I don't know.
We've got to pivot, my friend. Let's pivot. We're. It's actually just a seed oil fried chicken place now.
I think he needs. Do you know the food critic Keith Lee?
No.
Who goes to small businesses like this, and I'm Keith Lee, where you at? Start tagging him.
Wait, you know what just came? You know what just came up for me?
What?
You guys know that Gordon Ramsay show,
Nightmare Kitchens or something like that?
Nightmare Kitchen. Yeah, Nightmare Kitchen. And the
but it's in the ShopRite in
it's
Philly.
in the ShopRite. It's in the ShopRite. But like the vision that came to me is like, you know, the video where he takes 2 pieces of white bread.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. 2 pieces of white bread and puts it between the woman's face. Have you seen this, Gina?
Yes, and he
No.
says, "What are you?"
I'm so sorry. It's so funny. Like we will have to edit it in. We'll do a cut down. But like he's yelling at this woman. He's putting 2 pieces of white bread between her ears, on either side of her ears, and yelling at her, "What are you? What are you?" And I feel like that's what needs to happen with this man. He needs a Gordon Ramsay type intervention.
Yes.
Oh anyway.
my gosh.
Okay, Kate, really good stuff. Thank you so much. Any feelings on Burning Man?
I am on your side. I will never go.
Thank
I
you.
have never gone.
That's good to hear. Great to hear. Okay, well, this was Boys Club Live. We've covered, as ever, a wild range of topics today, and we love being here with you all. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.